I wonder if you recall, but I recall clearly how the current Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh, Chandrababu Naidu, had shred to pieces the Gazette notification order of the Land Titling Act as mooted by the erstwhile Jagan Reddy government. Continuing with its mission of correcting what the Naidu government described as loot by the YSRCP government, which includes illegal sand mining and the lavish Rushikonda project, the Andhra Pradesh cabinet has approved the proposal to repeal the Land Titling Act, which Naidu described as a land grabbing exercise by Jagan Mohan Reddy and his government. Naidu's government said, and I am quoting the government here, the small and marginal farmers and the owners of parcels of residential lands were afraid of what would happen to their property, since the Act laid down that the owners should be given only copies and the original document should be kept with the government at the time of conferring the title to the land. That's what this government says. But we need to look at what exactly is the Land Titling Act. I mean, I'm going to give you a basic of what the Land Titling Act is. Passed by state legislature in September 2022. It's based on a model suggested by the Niti Aayog. Conclusive, guaranteed title of property to the owner. It's supposedly modern, secured, digital and real-time land information system. Facilitates fast and secure transactions in property, creation and maintenance of real-time data. But the Telugu Desam party, led by Chandrababu Naidu, alleged that the so-called claims of transparency was a mere excuse for the government to control the land of lakhs of farmers in the state and strip them of their lands. The other important decision taken by the TDP government is, of course, making tenant farmers eligible for crop loans. According to the government, farm loans had not been advanced to the BCs, SCs and STs who mainly constitute tenant farmers and which had put them under severe distress. Even as Naidu is moving with great speed in reversing what the YSRCP government has done, will he get the support, the required support rather, from the centre to improve his state's financial health? That's the question that we are asking. Let's debate. Joining me on this debate is Deepak Reddy, the national spokesperson for the Telugu Desam party. We are also awaiting a representative from the YSRCP. But as of now, Deepak Reddy, very warm welcome to you, Deepak. Good to have you. So,
good evening.
Hello, namaskar. The thing is that Niti Aayog moots it, and also the Dharani portal, of course, in Telangana, that also happens to be the inspiration. The larger question is that land records, who owns the land, what are the specifications of it all? It said that it will be very transparent. But according to your government, today you repealed it. You say it's nothing but grabbing. You know, so I want you to start, and I have some other questions on this aspect as well.
Perfect. Let me just give you a brief introduction so that everybody can get a clear idea on what the motive behind this was. The draft suggestion given by Niti Aayog, if it was followed, we would not have any problem. There has been a substantial departure from the suggestions given in that draft. So here the issue was the government wanted to survey the entire, resurvey the entire land in Andhra Pradesh. Stones looking like tombstones with Jagan's image etched on it. And then they wanted to issue fresh passbooks, and the original would be kept with the government. The landowner would be given only a Xerox copy and with Jagan's images on that. So this is what their idea was. And the worst part is, if at all there is any issue, the people can go only to something called a land title registration officer. And that officer, they haven't specified that he is a government officer of certain station or anything. They said he can be of anybody. He can be a private person.
So are you, Deepak, I'm sorry, because I read through it. You say that, you know, anyone can be posted as a land registration officer. So he does not have what is called a skill-based title to evaluate. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, exactly. So it can be, I mean, they just left it open-ended. It can be anybody.
Right.
So it can be a private person also. They can appoint without any qualification. Qualification also hasn't been, specified there. And worst off, If there is an issue for a farmer or any poor person, he cannot go to the local court and he has to abide by the decision of this land titling officer and directly go to the high court.
High
How
Court,
many
yes.
farmers have the how many farmers really have the money to go to the high court? So this was an exercise where a lot of lands, which were government lands, which were given out as Lavanya Pata to steal because there were thousands of acres given out to SC and STs.
Right.
Already that process has
All
started
right.
off.
Okay.
This is what has happened in Andhra Pradesh.
All right. Narayana Murthy, spokesperson for the YSRCP. Mr. Narayana Murthy, a warm welcome. The Land Titling Act has been repealed by the Naidu government. They say it was only a method to kind of grab land, whereas your government kept saying there will be transparency, they will be digitized. Of course, two passbooks, the original and the one with the farmer. What is your first reaction to the act being repealed?
Who is introduced the Land Titling Act? Can you tell me, madam?
Sorry?
Can that who introduced the Land Titling Act?
Yeah, fine. Okay. I know.
Who introduced it? Central government. For your information, for
Yeah,
their information.
yeah.
It is introduced by the central government. We must mind it. Without knowing that,
But
they
you
are throwing
added,
all allegations on
yeah,
the
I'll leave it
state
to
government.
Deepak to defend himself.
With
Yeah,
with the
yeah, go ahead.
concurrence of the central government and officials of the central government, it has been introduced that they must know that. Without that, to only throw the mud on the government or Jagannath Reddy, they propagated all false information. They must know that first. This is not the way to cheat Andhra Pradesh people. If you have
All right.
political
Okay.
game,
Deepak,
then
you
can
heard
play
what
anywhere.
Narayana
But
Murthy
this is
sir
not
said,
how.
which I also started by
Manipulated.
saying that it was the
Untruth
Niti
claims.
Ayog. He
Untruth
says,
they published, manipulated. This is all wrong way to come to the power, for your information.
all right.
This
Let
is totally wrong
Deepak come
practice.
in here,
This
Deepak.
first time.
Raji, as usual, Mr. Narayan Murthy is at his finest in trying to mislead and give wrong information. Let me tell you one thing very clearly. Whatever has been the draft which has been given by Niti Ayog, it was not carried forward as is, whereas there have been a lot of changes
Let me
made in
explain,
that,
you know.
which
Why you don't have
would go
patience
against the interests of the common man
after
and the
getting the
poor
power?
farmer.
Why you don't have patience to listen? Why don't you have patience to listen
Niti
to the
Ayog
opposition?
draft has never
No, don't you
suggested
have patience to
a
listen to the
survey to be
opposition?
done where tombstones
Don't you
have to
have
be
the
erected
patience
in
to listen
every
to
corner
opposition?
with Jagan
Please
Mohan
listen
Reddy's,
the argument of the
image
opposition.
edged
You
onto
are
each
trying to
stone.
kill
They haven't said that. They
you
haven't
are
said
trying
that
to kill
the
justice,
original document of
truth
the
in
land
Andhra Pradesh.
should not be
Everybody
given to the
knows that.
farmer, and you
Every
keep the
day this
original
is
document.
happening around Andhra Pradesh. You're killing people.
Now, let me
You're
tell you
killing
one thing.
girls.
If the original
There are
document
many
is
rapes
not
are
given,
No,
happening.
no, no,
do
no,
you
no,
think
no, no.
any
Murders
This
are
you are
bank is going to
Narayana
happening.
give a
Murthy
loan
sir.
to a farmer?
Violence are
Let's
happening.
stick to the topic,
Burglaries
sir.
are happening.
Narayana
This is
Murthy
what
garu.
this is what
Mr.
your government doing.
Mr.
Central government
Narayan
also
Murthy
not
has a
knowing this.
habit
Even though they
habit
know, they don't
of
talk anything.
interrupting during
This
a
is
debate.
how. This
Whenever
is how
he's
the
on the
government.
back foot,
This
this
is
is
how
his
you got
modus
the power.
operandi. He doesn't
This is
let the
what you
other
got the
person
power.
speak, and he
From
would
what
be
for you got the
continuously
power?
talking without hearing the facts,
No,
without the
you
people
encourage the
understanding what the
rapes.
facts
You
are.
encourage the murder.
Murthy, please wait your turn. Deepak, go ahead because this is an issue that central government mooted by Niti Ayog. You say that if it had been done in the same avatar, we would have had no problems. But the thing is, you need to tell the viewers where exactly did the tweaking happen, and therefore you have now thrown it out of, the bag, as it were.
Sudhaji, let me tell you one thing. Land ownership is a very sensitive issue.
It is.
Some of the properties are given for generations, they're passed down. So the very fact that Jagan Mohan Reddy is taking back the passbook and issuing a new passbook with his image on it gave a degree of discomfort to the people. People want the assurance of the government, not of Jagan Mohan Reddy. Similarly, the stones which have been which were supposed to be erected across the state has his images etched onto it. Who is he? Are we living in his fiefdom? We are living in a democratic setup. I mean, he has no right over the land document and the lands of the people. He can't edge his images and put his photos on the documentation. Most importantly,
But Mr.
he says
Modi
that
also put his photos on vaccination and several other forms. What is wrong with that, Deepak Garu? You should
See,
not have a problem about the photograph,
that is not
right?
a problem. So that is not a problem. Here, this is a document what you're going to keep for life and pass it down to generations.
Okay.
Jagannath Reddy is going to go out of power in about 3 years. Now he's already out of power. And do the people really keep this
No, but
document?
that's a
It's
minor
first
thing, Deepak ji. Talk about the major thing. Yeah.
I'm coming. The most important point here is he wanted to retain the documents, the original documents with him. I mean, people are uncomfortable. They want the original documents to be given to them. A copy would be given to the people.